This video is going to be a bit of a in my life, travel vlog, work, but made it to the park. I just love this city.
101 Next on street down this aisle.
Scrappy is actually going to have surgery this afternoon. And I realized I had not continued recording audio for about 2 hours. I am exhausted and my entire body hurts. Scrappy is very discombobulated. Hello from the road. It has been an absolute mad dash. We made it to New York. I've never stayed here before. I'm at the Motto in Chelsea. We usually stay at the Dominic, but I think they were almost sold out. So it's not quite the route I'm used to here in New York, but it's cute. It's cute. Let's do a quick tour. So right as you walk in, you've got your sink, your mirror. Hey! Back here we've got toilet, shower, which is cute. Got another full-length mirror here. Then you've got bed, a little like built-in seating area, which is kind of cool. And beautiful view of the southern end of Manhattan. This video is going to be a bit of a week in my life, travel vlog, work / I just had my birthday yesterday, kind of combo pack. I just turned 37. I'm not really like a big birthday person, big celebration person, anything like that. But I had to come out here for work and thought, you know what? I'm already making the trip. Why not just book earlier, come in? Today is Friday. Spend the weekend. I love New York. It's probably my favorite and or second favorite city in the world. Paris is a tough contender. My husband had some stuff to do, so he's at home with the dog, and just thought, let's go have like a solo trip for the weekend in one of my favorite cities. And I was trying to remember the last time that I've ever taken like a solo trip, and it's been a long time. Like at least since I've met my now husband, so like 10 years ago. And I'm a very independent person. I don't do phenomenally well when it comes to like, let's just walk around and wing it and like book something last minute and blah, blah, blah. But I was like, you know what? I'm comfortable enough here that I felt like I could just like embrace it and have fun. I'm gonna be here for a couple nights doing my like solo trip thing, and then I'll transition over to, I think it's the High Line in Chelsea. I've stayed there before. That one's on the corporate card. I just randomly looked at like what was on this weekend, and there's a Broadway show, which I've never actually seen one here, starring Sam Tootie, I think is how you pronounce his name. Brett and I found him because of this Dear Evan Hansen mashup. I guess he was cast in one of the versions of it. I've never even seen that show. But that song that they did was incredible. I'll link the video somewhere here. And so I'm going to go see him. And then I was looking and seeing what concerts were on. And there was a band, I can't even think of their name here. I'll insert the clip. I was just looking, seeing what was, on this weekend, scrolling through the names and just like kind of typing them into YouTube and listening to a clip or two, and found this band that they're very much like, for me, reminiscent of the shows that we go to when we're out in Denver visiting my sister at like Red Rocks or something, like very folky, just like jam session, which I'm always down for. So I booked that for one night, and we're just going to kind of like hang out, go to Central Park, chill, and just enjoy this spring weekend in New York. And then at the top of the week, work stuff starts kicking in. I've got a big symposium I'm going to on Tuesday down here, so that will be a full kind of like work day. But yeah, otherwise, we're just going to wing it. And I don't know, maybe 37-year-old me is just like a whole new cool dude that like will just show up places and figure it out. That'd be something. I made a little welcome to the hotel cocktail. I always forget that like the hotels here in New York don't have ice machines. Like you have to call down, so it's a little warm, but we'll survive. And it looks like sunset is about to kind of get to going here. It's about 7 o'clock. So I may do a quick unpack, change actually into pants because it's a little chilly for shorts today. Should warm up. And maybe just go head down to the river and watch the sunset and, be a New Yorker. Let's go. All right. We're going to be so for real. I had every intention of walking down to the river and fully ran out of steam. So we are in bed. I'm looking to DoorDash some stuff. Clearly, being in my upper 30s is catching up to me because I am wiped. So I think we're just going to chill. Just got ice delivered up to the room. And yeah, going to order some DoorDash. Maybe watch like a movie. I haven't watched an actual movie in probably, I think I only ever watch them when I'm on like long haul flights. So probably when we went to Paris last summer. But yeah, going to try and figure out what I want. Shower. Good morning and welcome to day 2 in New York. It is Saturday, my time, and as you saw from last night, as you saw from the footage, last night I dove into the B-dubs and I passed out. I was so wiped, but it felt really good to sleep in. I got almost like 12 hours of sleep, which is a-okay in my book. But we're up, showered, dressed. It is a nice sunny day, not as warm as I had assumed it was going to be. I had looked at the weather before I came, obviously, and I swear it had said that it was going to be like high 60s, low 70s, and it is 55-ish out now, and I'm like looking down on the street and everyone's wearing like coats and pants, and I did not bring enough warm clothes if this is going to keep up. So we are going to cross our fingers that the heat comes because, well, I guess otherwise I'll have to go shopping, which boo-hoo, But yeah, so we're up and ready. The only thing that I have officially booked for today is a concert out in Brooklyn. And I think I said this yesterday. I was just scrolling, seeing who was here. I didn't recognize any of the names. And so I just started listening to clips, and I landed on this. They're called Happy Landing, and they're going to be out at the Music Hall of Williamsburg. I listened to one song. The song sounded great, so I was like, hey, why not? So we've got that tonight at like 8. It's 11:11 right now. Can I win the lotto and move to New York, please? Thanks. So we're just going to go walk around a little bit. I know this is a little out of touch, but if any of you are in the market for like a really good day bag that you can like take to the beach, but still is like kind of dressy and you can use other places, Brett and I both have this groomer's bag from Hermes. I've had mine for like 2 years now, probably, and it just holds up so well. And you've got like an inner liner that you can just kind of take out and wash. So that's like for beach stuff is really nice. I don't know. If for whatever reason you're in the market for something that's like real everyday usable and like holds up well, like a lot of the leather bags and stuff just like get kind of creased and crinkly over time. These canvas bags are legit. Let's do it. It is a beautiful day. I am glad that I wore pants because even though it's like warm in the sun, it is really windy today. But usually when I'm out here and just kind of like walking around, I'm doing my real estate fix. I am always on Realtor.com checking on things here and other places. And actually this building right here is one that if we were to ever rent or buy in an alternate universe where we moved to New York, Chelsea in particular, I think that would be the building. They've got some really cool units, and I like the way that they've done the design in-house. I'll put a link if any of you are interested. But yeah, I think I already did like 2 miles of walking. Gonna jump on the High Line here and start heading south. I'll probably go check out another building that there's a very interesting rental in that I want to see kind of the surrounding area. Light source. God, I love the West Village. That one on Broome Street is one of the other ones that has got some cool units. It's floor-to-ceiling windows, kind of like our place in Minneapolis. Way better here, but I think, yeah, there's a 3-bedroom in there. Rents, $29,000 or something, but it would be on the list. It would be on the list. Hey, it has been a couple hours since I saw you last. I ended up walking, it was, just over 6 miles, just kind of like down the river, down to like Tribeca area. Oh my God. And I came back just to like lay down for a second and turned on SpongeBob and passed out. So it is now 5:30 and the concert starts at 8, doors open at 7, I think, but it's over in Brooklyn, so it's gonna take me about a half hour to get out there. And so I mixed a cocktail. I might have to chug a Red Bull too. I'm fresh air and actually like moving my body. Wiped me. All right, I'm going to force myself to wake up. Probably play a couple other songs from that band that I'm gonna go see because I've only heard one of them. And then I'm gonna get changed, and then we're gonna go. And we're not gonna fall back asleep. We're not gonna fall back asleep.
That's the way it goes in this modern.
All right, we're upright, we're changed, and we're gonna go to this concert. We're gonna have fun. gonna be awake. And we're not going to have anxiety about walking in to a GA venue alone. If we do that, we've succeeded. All right, oh, I guess Red Bull would be helpful because I fade in. All right, solo travel, so fun. No, I'm just messing. This has been really good so far. Ever since the pandemic, I, for some reason, developed, I would say, like a light to medium amount of like social anxiety. And so part of the reason why I kind of moved forward with coming here this weekend alone was to kind of like tell myself to get over it and like book shit and go have fun. We're all gonna be okay. But I think, as I mentioned earlier in this video, probably the last time I traveled alone was before I met my husband, which was 10 years ago. We're just gonna do it. We're gonna go have fun, listen to some jams, hang out in Brooklyn, which is actually where I got my half sleeve that's over here. I probably should have booked some time with that artist. He was fucking awesome. Actually, I'll link him here. It's Evil Steve, incredible artist. Enough stalling. Off to Brooklyn we go.
Sorry in the mountains looking creepy to find the sun that left so long ago. And the dawn rolled in, I saw his heart was bleeding for all the lives I
made it just getting back from the concert, which actually was so fun. Definitely not gonna lie. Got there, as I do, early for things, and then for some reason, because there weren't a ton of people lined up to get in, that triggered my anxiety for some reason, and considered just getting back on the train and coming home multiple times. But we didn't do that. And even though when the opener came on, there was like fully 8 people in the GA section. They were awesome. I think Morrissey Boulevard was their name. I'll link them below. As far as openers go, incredibly talented. And by the time the actual act came on, GA was pretty full. I had booked like the balcony, which is still GA, but elevated GA. And it was me and about 3 other people, which actually I was totally down for. And they were really great. Like, put on an awesome show. I'm so glad that I did it. And I only got on one wrong train trying to get home or back to the hotel. But I figured it out. Beep, beep, boop. And yeah, so now we just have a New York slice and it's bedtime. It's already 11:30. I am going to devour this slice in peace. No need for that to be captured on the internet. But I will see you guys in the morning. It is Sunday and technically day 3 of my New York trip. Just like absolutely plowed through that pizza and passed out. And slept in this morning. Originally woke up at like 7 something and was like, nope, go back to bed. And then woke up to FaceTime from my husband at like 10:30. So that was good. Really making up for sleep on this trip. It is just after noon here. I booked a Broadway show at 3, which I've actually never been to a Broadway show. I'm not a huge like musical person, but let me look at what it's called. It's Two Strangers Carry a Cake Across New York. It's at the Longacre Theater, which is kind of up by Times Square. So I think what I'm going to do is probably head up there, maybe go to Central Park for a little bit, chill, and then head over to the show and see where the rest of the day takes us. All right, let's go.
1 minute.
Definitely not the best lighting here, but made it to the park. I just love this city. And I don't know why I feel this way, but like, Minneapolis is a decent enough city. It feels like not walkable in the way that New York is, which is just untrue. Like, we live right downtown. I can walk a couple blocks to a park, a couple blocks into like the food district of downtown. And like, I walked at least 6 miles yesterday. If I walked 6 miles in Minneapolis, I could easily get to anything that I wanted. I guess it's just not as like vibrant. I don't know. I just always feel recharged back here. If any of you, I guess, live here or have been to New York before, what were your favorite like spots or things to do? I feel like, God, we were here 4 times in the back half of last year and covered a lot, done a lot of exploring, but always looking for a hookup. What would be cool to do next time, because we will be back.
G 101 and 2. Next to the street on down this aisle will see you, he'll ask to see the tickets again. Thank you so much. Enjoy the show. Thank you.
Your birthday party's here.
Yeah, sometimes. I gotta get going.
When's your birthday?
Are you always like this?
You'll get used to it.
I have work in the morning.
Does Dad live here?
No.
Should I tell him I've arrived?
It's 10 o'clock at night.
I could send another
Maybe
video.
just check into your hotel first.
Yes.
Kind of like a golden retriever, but actually less boundary than that. Oh, no, sorry. You're busy. Ignore me. Hey, y'all. Sorry I'm late. I'll see you tomorrow. What's happening? What'll it be? Are you happy? Are you coming? Are you going in the mirror? In the future, what do you see?
Conversational German.
Where do you think I'm going?
Entschuldigung, meine Frau. Ich sag dir doch. Let's be realistic, okay? We both know carrying a wedding cake is in fact a two-person job.
Okay, fine.
Yeah, let's do this! New York!
Can we talk about something else?
Yeah. Tell me. Tell me.
Tell you
I
what?
mean, everything. Okay, where do you live?
Alphabet City.
The lights, the giant buildings in the distance, and the smile on her face. Oh, cool. Well, thank you very much. Thank you.
You alright?
Here's someone just gave me a quarter.
Maybe it's time for a new coat. Can you hold these, please? I need to get an Uber. Just don't drop it, okay?
Smells amazing. What is that? Coconut.
Grandma, it's Robin. How you been? I miss your cooking. Make the bed up, light the stove. I'm coming home tonight to Brooklyn, 'cause it's happened. I'm happy, and that's all I have to give you. Thanks for waiting. I'll be right with you.
We're back. Just finished the show and stepped outside of the theater, and it is freezing. Like, considered stopping and buying a jacket. It was so cold. So I got my ass on the subway and headed back to my hotel. But I think I'm going to go down and grab a drink at the bar downstairs. But before I do that, I wanted just to give like a quick recap. I had like zero expectations. I hadn't listened to anything or read any reviews, essentially, about the show. It did not disappoint at all. Both him and the female counterpart were amazing. Like, amazing. It was like a no frills, just the two of them. A rotating set, which was pretty cool. And it was funny, and it wasn't corny, and they sounded awesome. So if, for whatever reason, you are in New York or going to be here, I would highly recommend going to see it. I would, like, to the point that I would potentially go and see it again if we came back. So just wanted to give that little recap, and it's about 6 o'clock now. Don't have solid plans for the night. Was potentially going to go meet a friend, but we'll see if that works out. Sundays are always hard. But yeah, I think I'm going to go run down, grab a drink at the bar, and then we'll see where the night takes us. I am technically working tomorrow, so we'll need to be up at a decent time. And then I'll be switching hotels. Okay, to the bar. Do we think this will make my wrinkles go away? Oh no. I need them up here too. I need Botox bad.
I'm sorry. Who has it in their heart to just keep disliking somebody?
Good morning. You got very little footage last night. I ended up going down to the bar in the hotel and had a lemongrass martini, which was really good, and was just kind of like beat from the day, which again, don't know why. I slept for like 12 hours and whatever. But yeah, ended up continuing this streak of like, I'm 37 and an adult, but for some reason being on like a solo trip where I just eat like a 12-year-old that got access to their dad's credit card. Like, I literally just had truffle fries for dinner last night, which were delicious. So like I'm totally down. But that just, sounded good. While like every other time that we're in New York, we're like going and trying new restaurants and, doing the thing that you're supposed to do. I don't know. I just couldn't be bothered, I guess. So yeah, I just did that and then came back to the room, did a little bit of editing of basically the video that you've seen thus far. And I did a little bit of work and then just called it. So we are officially on day 4 of the trip. Today's Monday, my time. And I woke up, obviously showered and got ready. I've got my first call in about 5 minutes. I checked in with the husband who is taking our dog to the surgeon, unfortunately, this morning. So not ideal, but we figured it out. But yeah, I'm going to jump on this call. I've got another like 2 hours or so until I need to check out, which is good because if you could see the rest of my room, it's a bit of a disaster right now. And then I'm going to figure out what to do next because I have to check out here at noon and then I can't check into my other hotel until like 3. I may just Uber over there and drop my bags with them and then go find a spot to take the rest of my calls for the day. All right. Got to jump on this call. Bye. Scrappy is actually going to have surgery this afternoon. So I am going to fly back today instead. Not the overly lighthearted travel vlog that we were anticipating, but thus is life. And I've got about 30 minutes to pack up, and then I'm just going to head right to the airport so that we can be there for our little bud when he gets out of anesthesia. Happy days. Seeing a very tired dog dad and a very high pooch. It is, what day is it? Tuesday. It's Tuesday. And I kind of left you guys off pretty quick there yesterday and just wanted to pop on and give a little bit of an update on my bud. So Scrap had a benign mass on his stomach that started growing like 6 years ago, I think. And 6 or 7 years ago, and it just started as like a little pebble and then slowly got bigger and bigger and bigger, and then it was kind of like a baseball size. And 3 years ago we had it taken off, and we had it kind of biopsied early on, and they had just told us that it was like fat cells or whatever. When they did the pathology from his first surgery, which we had done back in Wisconsin where my parents live, and it come back as a soft tissue sarcoma, which is technically a cancer, but it was like super low grade. And at that time they had said that it was kind of like too close to the chest wall, and so they didn't want to risk going and getting like fully negative margins or cutting it all the way out, just in case they would drop his lung or whatever, which I get, right? Like, I not in dog anatomy, but human anatomy, he does not know where he is. I get it, right? It's a risk that's not worth it. Especially, I mean, even at that point, he was 12. So, especially for like a medium-sized dog, we really were just doing it for his comfort because it was kind of impeding the way he could lay down and stuff. And so we always knew, like, there was a pretty good chance it was going to grow back, which, you know, it is what it is. We got another great 3 years with him, and it was kind of almost back to that same size where, sorry, I'm trying to like cover up the incision in case you guys are squeamish. Yeah, you're okay. And so, you know, we had started talking again about getting it taken off. You know, we're now 3 years later, so he's 15. He had like a slight heart murmur that we've just been watching and there's been nothing to do that seemed maybe a little bit more pronounced, but he was getting regular checkups, all like flying colors with his blood work and everything. And then it must have been like a week and a half ago, I just noticed that it was like really red, and it was always this like pale, like regular pink color, and didn't bother him, and you could move it around really easily. And then for some reason, one night it just got like rock hard and red. My hypothesis is that there was some like vascular event, doesn't matter. The next morning we took him in, and the vet just kind of said, yeah, I'm not seeing really anything, and you know, if you were to really do anything, it would be with the surgeon and not obviously like the regular vet that you see, which was fine. But he was just kind of like, I don't see anything, it seems to be fine, like let's just keep an eye on it. And kind of alluded to the fact that like they wouldn't even do surgery, which was a little, I guess that was the first time that I had heard that theory out of one of the vets that we were working with, but whatever. And then over the next couple days, there was like a strip of it that started getting like black essentially, and I'm like, oh god, the skin is not getting blood flow or something's not good. So then I took him back in and had one of the worst vet experiences of my life. I don't claim to know veterinary medicine by any stretch of the imagination, but, and I was upfront with the vet. I'm like, listen, we've already kind of brought him in. This is what I think probably happened. We're now getting a little bit of like oozing. I'm concerned about the skin integrity. And she basically like brushed me off and was like, you don't know what you're talking about. And I'm like, okay. And because I would fucking hate if a vet came in, you know, if I was practicing medicine, my clinic or whatever, and tried to tell me what to do. I'm just trying to be observant and like obviously care about my bud. And she was completely dismissive and very rude, and essentially was like we should really probably just do like comfort care stuff. Like, I can give you antibiotics if you want, I can give you pain meds if you want. And I'm like, that's not going to be an answer that I will accept. So we got the antibiotics, we got him pain meds, and then I said, and I need a referral to a surgeon. And she's like, I don't think they'll do anything. And I'm like, well, I'll have them tell me that. I came home and I told Brett I wouldn't let that woman take care of my hamster, let alone my dog. So we were watching it, we were putting kind of bandages on it. He seemed to maybe be doing a little bit better on the pain meds and on the antibiotics. And I thought that we would have more time before he would have to like rush to get in. But we had set up just a basic consult right before I left for New York for the surgeon on Monday, which was yesterday. And I was hoping, well, actually they even kind of set it up for us where it was like, hey, you'll come in and do a consult and then we'll schedule it out. It probably will be like a week or two, maybe 3 weeks. We're like, okay, cool. But then Brett was sending me pictures of the tumor on Sunday night, and I could tell like some of the skin was breaking down, and we were maybe progressing faster than I had initially anticipated. And so when he went in, the surgeon was like, we can totally take it off, which, thank God. And they were like, and you know, we actually have an opening today. Not saying that it was urgent, but he was like, it's pretty nasty, and I would feel good about taking it off today, but if you guys need more time, whatever. So then he and I were on the phone trying to like figure out, okay, I was supposed to fly back on Wednesday, like night, could we do it Thursday? But then we unfortunately have a family funeral on Sunday, and so we're trying to like figure all this out, and I'm just like, you know what? What's best for him is to get it off today. So just get it off today, I'll figure it out. And I was going back and forth because I was supposed to be at actually an Amazon or AWS like life sciences symposium thing today in New York, which is the main reason why I went out there. But as I was just sitting in my hotel room knowing that he was like going back to surgery, I'm like, F it. Like, I'm not just gonna sit here and like try and get updates from afar. And I already had a colleague who was planning to be in for the same event, so I just like texted them and said, hey, somewhat emergent surgery. I'm actually just gonna have to fly back to Minneapolis and take care of this, and they were totally cool with that. Yeah, so then I landed back here around 5, and then we went and grabbed him around 8, and this was about where he was at, loopy doopy, and needed to be carried to the car. And the one thing that the discharge vet was saying is that because this is now the second time that they've done surgery on that spot, the skin was pretty tight, and so they just wanted to make sure that he wasn't accidentally like getting up and jumping and doing whatever. And so we slept in the living room. He slept on one of his beds. I slept on the other one of his other dog beds on the floor next to him. He had to get some other medications at like 4 a.m., so we did that, but he did actually really well overnight. And then this morning, still a little loopy, and then he got obviously another round of pain meds. So he is flying high in the sky, but he loves like laying out on our balcony, and so I saw him kind of sniffing the door. So we are out here with parental supervision so that we don't accidentally jump down and hurt ourselves. But even like this morning when I went to take him out to go to the bathroom, I had to carry him down the hall because he was like walking 1 centimeter a minute. He's a tough cookie, this guy, right? But yeah, I'm really glad that I came home because he loves my husband, but I've had him for 14 years, and so I'm default dad. And so the second that we got there to the vet, he was able to kind of chill, and he smelled us, and he was like way less anxious. So yeah, good boy. There we go. So yeah, I thought I was going to give you guys a little bit of like also cool work trip week in my life content, but life had other plans. So I've just really been hanging out, watching him all day. Brett had a haircut and some people in the office at work, so he's at work, and I'm sure I'll tag him in once he's back, and I'll go take care of the shit that I was supposed to do today. But for now, I am his nurse, his pill pusher, and making sure that he doesn't lick his stitches open. And I don't know, I started editing the first part of this video, which I actually really kind of like, and so I don't know, I think maybe we'll just keep it rolling, go through the rest of the week. As I had mentioned, we've got, unfortunately, a family funeral on Sunday, but one of the things that I am passionate about and or the like go-to person for family and friends is flowers and floral arrangements. I've done our wedding, I did my sister's wedding, I did a cousin's wedding, I've done multiple funerals at this point, all within the family, and I thought maybe it would be fun. I don't know what all content I'm going to have for you between now and then. It's probably going to be a lot of this and then trying to catch up on work, but I'm getting about 2,000 stems delivered to our apartment on Friday, and so I might just walk you guys through that as well, how I kind of plan out what I'm going to do, maybe some like arranging stuff. It probably will be hard to do day of, but yeah, I think that will be probably the end cap to this week in the life vlog. I really hope there's nothing else, no more bombshells or any other crazy BS that happens, because I think we're at max capacity. But yeah, I don't know. Real life happens, and sometimes you just need to get back on a plane and let your colleagues handle it. So here we are. All right. I'm going to let him sun in peace, and I'll see you guys in a little bit. Good morning. It's Wednesday. Didn't do a whole lot yesterday other than just watch my buddy who is resting and recovering over there. We just kind of hung out, and then we had some funeral stuff that we were getting done. So not a lot of interesting content for you guys, but I ended up just taking the rest of this week off to keep an eye on him and get some other stuff done. And so I thought I would come on, update you guys, and I've got to go run a couple errands, but then after that, I think I'm finally going to sit down and do my episode 6 deep dive from Heated Rivalry. If you guys have stumbled onto this video and don't know that that's a thing I'm doing on my channel. We're doing a series of like deep dive videos on each of the episodes in great anticipation for season 2. But I had like a really good cadence going for a while with getting these out, and then a bunch of life and work and other shit happened. And so I haven't just had time, honestly, to dedicate a full afternoon/day to deep diving into episode 6. So I think I'm going to do that today while my little buddy's just resting and recovering. He's doing way better today than he did yesterday. Yesterday morning, I actually had to like carry him outside to go to the bathroom, but he's way more with it today, which is great. We already were out laying in the sun, soaking up that UV light. Weather's a little bit better today than yesterday. So far so good. We're on our way back, right, bud? Sleepy. Sleepy. But yeah, that's going to be the game plan for today. I'm going to go run some errands, and then we'll sit down and film episode 6 deep dive. Whoop, whoop.
What a throwback.
Your existence makes me want to you. I'd be, I want to be what you always needed, always. I want you and your beautiful soul.
What a banger. What a banger.
That's the way to live.
Who buys that shit? I guess somebody.
People suck at driving. Jesus.
All right, our errands were nearly a success. I'm trying to print like big posters for this thing we have this weekend, and the image quality on one of them isn't great, so I'm probably gonna have to redo that. But I just kind of set up my makeshift YouTube studio, and we're gonna get into filming episode 6. And actually, if any of you are interested in like what equipment I use and how I do the whole setup, I have a video on that. It was kind of a behind the scenes of setting all of this up. It was a couple weeks, probably 2 months ago. So I'll link that here if you're interested. All right, let's go. I was about 2/3 of the way through the episode, and I got up to switch my camera battery, and I realized I had not continued recording audio for about 2 hours. And this shit is so fucking infuriating. And such a rookie mistake. Like, this is what I get for not being on top of it and fucking recording regularly. But these kind of like dumb moments, like I could, in theory, default to just the audio off my camera, but it's not going to be good enough, and it just takes the fucking wind out of your sails. So I'm giving up for today. I may pick up that baton tomorrow, but stupid.
Putting out the medicine like I'm a pharmacy worker. Husband's pills and vitamins, dog's pills. Because I slept weird last night, my pills. And you can't forget a nice piece of cheese to wash it down.
All right, just got a call from the front desk that all of the flowers were delivered, and they said you might want to bring down a cart because the FedEx guy had to take 2 trips. All right, seeing as these hydrangeas are super labor intensive and I need to just like sit down, I thought I would take this opportunity just to kind of talk through I guess, what you're seeing. So I think I'd mentioned this earlier in the video, but I've kind of become the go-to flower guy for big events in both my family and Brett's family. Had never done anything at any like real scale until we had, unfortunately, a family funeral that was kind of like obviously last minute, hard to go and source flowers, especially like florist flowers ahead of time. If you're particular, I guess is probably the way to put it. And so that was my first kind of foray, and learned a lot about like timing and how much time it actually takes to do arranging day of. Had a couple other funerals actually that did the same. And then the first like really, really big event that I did was our wedding. And I'll put up a couple pictures here. And that was insane. I think we had like 5,000 stems at least. Did like a massive flower arch and, you know, other stuff. And that was really fun. And I think early on I had found this company called Global Rose for buying bulk flowers, and they ship them like overnight from South America somewhere. And I've had really, really good success with them. They always show up in A, on time, and B, in like really good condition. And usually what they do is they depending on the flower, they tell you how many days in advance of your event you should have them delivered, because they want to ship them to you not like when they're in full bloom, but rather they get a chance to kind of like open up and blah, blah, blah. So yeah, I learned from our wedding, again, some learning lessons, again, around time and count, that now I've kind of perfected, or at least I feel better about perfecting the art of putting it all together and being more organized for the day of, because it always takes longer than you think. And so we've got, unfortunately, a celebration of life for some family members this weekend, and so that is what all of these flowers are for. We went up and saw the venue right before I went to New York, just so I could kind of like see the space. And I'll show you in a little bit once we get through getting all the flowers out, but kind of the inspirations for the arrangements that we'll be doing, and kind of the level of organization that I've instituted so that I'm not sweating and panicking, running up to the extreme last second, which kind of has been my MO, unfortunately. But yeah, I don't know, another like side of me that I don't think I've ever talked about or shown in videos. I don't know if this is interesting to you guys. If so, let me know. But yeah, I love doing this. It's like, I'm a very artistic person, and just the thought of like, here's something cool I want to make, and just throw me a bunch of different flowers and figure out different textures and colors and what all goes together, especially when you're doing like a whole space and not just, I thought that was a bug, especially when you're doing the whole space and not just like one big arrangement. It's like trying to figure out how you can do it so it's not kind of monotonous in its design, but it's cohesive and blah, blah, blah. So this is what I'm going to be doing for the rest of today, and probably a good chunk of tomorrow and on Sunday. So I almost said you guys wanted a week in my life. There weren't any explicit asks. So I'll change it to, I decided to give you guys a week in my life. And this just so happens to be a component of my week. So here we go. All right, almost all the flowers are in. Been at it for about 3.5 hours, just unpacking them. And what they tell you to do is, because they've sat obviously from flights from Colombia and stuff to Miami to here, is to like cut 1/2 inch off the bottom, put them in fresh water, and then actually leave them kind of like bundled up in cardboard that they come in for like 4 hours, just to give them a second to like absorb the water again and hopefully keep the flowers in good shape. Almost everything came in like nearly perfect shape. Some of the eucalyptus greens are a little sad, but whatever. And we filled 13 Home Depot buckets, and I've got still baby's breath coming and 200 just regular white roses coming as well. So we'll probably end up about 14 buckets, which actually isn't too bad compared to the way I tend to overorder. But yeah, now I'm just going to do a little bit of a cleanup, give the flowers time to actually soak up the water, and then I'm going to go and kind of unbox them. Each of the arrangements I'm going to do, I have like a printed out packet that has obviously what it is, this is going on the bar, where it goes in the space, inspiration, photo or photos, just so I'm not scrambling to try and find them while we're live. And then if there's a receptacle they're going in or a vase. And then I took a first pass at counting out like how many of each of the flower types I'm expecting to go in there. And so that's kind of my first pass at really seeing, did I estimate correctly? And just in case, do I have to quick run to the store tomorrow and get more of anything because I underestimated? Again, doesn't tend to be my problem. But yeah, once we've hit the 4-hour mark, I'll go and kind of bundle everything up into their own buckets that will go for like, this is one arrangement, this is one thing. Rubber band them together just so it's easier day of. And yeah, then I think that will be it for the prep that I can do here. And then when we head, the Celebration of Life is up in like northern Minnesota. And so kind of morning of is when things start getting a little bit nuts and mad dashing and cutting and stabbing and going. But yeah, it's always nice having this many flowers. The room just smells so nice. And because the weather dropped out of nowhere, it actually was like crazy hailing a little bit ago. I've just cracked the window, which is keeping it really cool in this room, which is perfect for the flowers. If it had been the other day when it was like 80 degrees and we had no AC, we would be in a different predicament. So the weather's looking out for us here. Oh my God, okay. It is almost 8 o'clock. I am exhausted and my entire body hurts. But I have gone and kind of organized everything into buckets of where it goes. Scrappy is very discombobulated, but we are probably about as organized as we're going to get for sure tonight, but maybe even before we get up north where the actual ceremony is going to be. Oh my God, my lower back. Oh my God, my lower back. I'm too old for this shit. 37, I'm falling apart. So gonna try and get a couple more things done tonight, but I think that is where I'm gonna leave you all, and then I will pick you back up in the morning. We've got a couple more small groups of flowers being delivered that for whatever reason got delayed, and then we'll get in the car, head up, and I'll bring you along for like the actual putting it together process and all that. All right, good night. Hello from the road. It has been an absolute mad dash. Absolute fucking mad dash today. Ended up getting 200 more roses delivered and all of the baby's breath delivered this morning, which I obviously knew it was coming. For some reason, my brain forgot that it was so much. So started unboxing all of that and ran out of Home Depot buckets. So ended up not being able to open up the roses yet. And then we have decor and flowers in one of our friends' cars, in my sister-in-law's car, in my car, and in my husband's car. So we're rolling deep, a lot of stuff. I obviously have the pooch here with me. But yeah, everyone's getting into town. I'm probably going to be the last one there. And then we're going to unload into our hotel room. I think everyone is going to kind of distribute out and go do dinner with friends and family that are going to be in town for this celebration of life. And then, lucky me, I'm dipping out of those because I'm just going to be working on flowers basically all night. So, windy as all fucking hell, so I'm having to death grip the steering wheel, and like always it's like 30 degrees colder up in this part of the state than down in the city. So shorts are going to be a little too cold, but then I know once I'm back in the hotel room running around like a psychopath, I'm going to be too hot in pants. So we'll just have to suffer in the cold. Yeah, just wanted to jump on, give a little update, and we'll see ya in Duluth. We made it. Forgive this. It is very windy outside. Thank God we got a big room with like, it's kind of like a suite, because otherwise we would not have fit all of this in there. Like I think I mentioned, it took 4 cars to get all of this here, but we're here. I really need to go get those roses in water. So that's gonna be our first step, but also, well, that's our second step. Our first step is finding ice because I need a cocktail. We lucked out that our bathtub is like giant in this hotel for soaking all of the foam. For those of you who have never put together like bigger floral arrangements, not in vases, you use this green foam that you have to like soak so that the flowers can keep like drinking. But they're kind of sensitive. The foam blocks are kind of sensitive. Like you have to put them in there, let them sink down by themselves. You can't submerge them. So a huge tub like that is very helpful. Running a little bit out of steam, but I do want to get one more arrangement done tonight so that tomorrow morning I can just rock and roll. We've got like the main center one is huge, so I need to save my time tomorrow for that, but I'm pretty happy with how it turned out. All right, it is almost 11:30 and we're just gonna do one last one here, which is the centerpiece that's gonna go on kind of like the guest book table. Okay, down to the last second, but made it, got all the flowers done, sprinted back to the hotel, showered, put on the monkey suit. Always underestimating the amount of work. And I got almost everything done except for the table arrangements, but thankfully our cousin was there and left them in good hands. But yeah, I think that's gonna be the end of this week in the life, which very well could be 2 hours long. So we'll see how we chop this up, but bye.